Hey everyone, welcome to the garage. It's time to get started on the Jeep Cherokee lift. Alright guys, I've had this lift so long I've got it stashed everywhere. There's the rear leaf springs, there's some shocks, and here's all the new goodies I bought. So I've got a drop bracket for the track bar. I know I'm going cheap on that one, but we'll upgrade it later. I've got two lengthened lower control arms, and I'm also gonna try and fix a couple oil leaks while I have the axle dropped on the front. So I've got new rear main seal, new oil pan gasket, and new seals for the oil filter adapter. And some gasket and the T60 you need for the oil filter adapter. And new shocks are down there. So, gotta find some parts. Let's get this axle dropped and the oil pan off. Let's get started. Alright guys, I got one side jacked up. So before I jack up the other side, I'm going to get a few things off. So brake caliper off, shock off, lower control arm if I can. I'm not positive about that one. The new ones say the spring has to be off to install it, so that might not come off. We'll see. And sway bar off. So those are the things I'm taking off to try and drop this down as low as possible. So let's get that done. Alright guys, got a little greasy, but here's one side completely removed. You can see the axle's dropped way down. Not much down here anymore. So, brake removed, spring removed, sway bar removed, lower control arm removed, and shock removed. So here's the old parts versus the new. You can kind of see the differences. So there's the new lower control arm, made for like 2 to 4 inches of lift or something. Here's the new shock. A little bit taller, a little bit different spring rate, I bet. Here's the new shock, old shock, a little bit taller, and there's the sway bar that I removed. So the plan is to get at least the lower control arm on so that the axle is held kind of in place, you know. And then we'll get the spring in, and then we'll probably go to the other side and start working on the other side. So I think that's my plan. Yeah, let's get to work. All right, guys. Oh man, your lens is dirty. All right, guys, I'm skipping you forward in time for a little bit here. I forgot to charge the GoPro batteries, and they go dead really quick. So you missed a little bit. Basically, I put the tire back on this side just to kind of, in case the car would fall down, I'd be a little safer. But I got the new springs in and the new lower control arm in, and that's all I put in so far. I'm working on the other side currently. I got the old spring out, basically same as the other side. I got the old spring out, old shock out. I dropped the track bar, so I'm going to be adding a drop down track bar, and I got the lower control arm out. So now I just drain the oil, and I'm going to start working on the oil pan, getting that out. And then I got, oh, it's so hard to see, but I got the oil filter off and the oil adapter ready to be taken out. Maybe I'll do that first. All right, I'll bring you back when I got something to report. Well, you know that T60 that's supposed to be taking off the oil filter adapter? Yeah, it's in there. So we're gonna find out if it's magnetic. It is! Sweet. I wasn't looking forward to putting my hand in there. All right, we're gonna move the oil pan now, so when I drop this for the 20 millionth time, it doesn't fall in it. All right, guys, let's get started again. It's always something. Next problem. Find the T60 for the second time, and the other part of this wrench. Let me find my flashlight. I will bring you guys back with more fantastic updates. Well, I'm at a total loss. I can't find it anywhere. And I can't find the other part to the wrench either. I may have to run to the hardware store. I need the oil and oil filter anyway. So, won't be a wasted trip. I'll pick up a new 12mm wrench, a new T60. Where could that thing have gone? I've checked everywhere. I checked every nook and cranny on the Jeep, under the Jeep, around the Jeep. I'll find it one of these days, but jeez. I've had things fly a lot farther than I think anything could ever fly before. And I put a lot of pressure on that, hence why I broke it. But I didn't hear it bounce off anything crazy. This was my breaker bar. That ain't it. All right, I'll keep looking. And I'll make a grocery list just in case. What is this? 5/8. Whoa! No way. A piece of that wrench flew that far? Holy crap. Maybe the T60 is back there. Look at that. In my toolbox. It knew where home was. It said, get me away from this crazy man. Nice. I'll just glue that back together. It'll be good as new. Never a problem again. All right, now I'm looking back here. Well, would you look at what I found? How'd you get there? Still need a new 12mm. All right, to the store. All right, folks, here's the deal if you're like me and buy really cheap wrenches. You hammer off the other side because it was already cracked and breaking anyway. And then you take your little grinder from Harbor Freight. It was $5 and you grind it down just enough so that it fits into your breaker bar on this side. And then you give her everything you got from the only position it fits in, just barely. And it takes you like, 10 tries to find that one under the car. And then you get her off. I did it. Only one wrench broken. All right. Let's get these seals off. Ugh. That's a fun job. I'm really looking forward to this oil pan. Well, I think I put it off as long as I can. Time to drop the oil pan. I've got the axle pretty low, I think. I hope that'll be enough. We're gonna see how much stuff I don't have to take off, like I'm gonna try and not remove the exhaust if possible. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'll keep you updated. Probably not gonna show you. It's gonna be very hard to film under there for me. Yeah, I'd rather just get this done. So I'll let you know if anything fun happens. I decided I wanted to do something easy first, so we're gonna change the gaskets on this oil fill adapter. So there's one right here, an O-ring right here, and then you tap out this bolt and there's an O-ring on the top and one on the bottom. So let's go ahead and tap this out and then change these out. That one's not so bad. I bet this one's pretty bad. That's not so bad either. Okay. Okay, that's that done. Now let's do this guy. Yeah, this thing is flat. It's supposed to be round. It's still somewhat pliable, but I don't know if you can see that profile. It's definitely not round anymore. Okay. If it wasn't leaking, I bet it would be soon. There we go. All right, that's ready to go back in. I'm gonna get the oil pan off first. All right, folks, I got the dang thing off. It really wasn't that hard. There was one bolt I had to get it was around the exhaust that I couldn't get off with my socket. I've only got a big 10 mil. I don't have a short one. So I just took a little crescent wrench to that and that worked. And then I ended up having to take the starter off, but that's it. It came snaked out around the transmission lines and the exhaust. So we're good to go. I got it off. It looks super clean inside. And I don't think they come with this gasket on them. So it looks like maybe somebody's changed this before. But I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. It was definitely leaking around it though. So definitely time to change it. You can see where it's been leaking. Like this whole thing is just soaked in oil. So I don't think that gasket was doing a whole lot anymore. Anyway, clean inside. I don't see any chunks of metal, which I wasn't expecting. So, all right, I'm gonna go take a look at the rear main seal and pop this gasket off of the bottom of the engine. Well guys, I've already set my head in the oil dripping from this dang thing, so I gotta get the bridle off, then the rear main bearing cap, and then I can see the rear main seal. So I'm gonna get to that. Toby Keith was playing a little more talk, a little less action. No. Toby Keith was playing a little less talk, a little more action, so I guess that's a sign. I don't know. Maybe I should stop talking, but whew, gonna get this done. Bearing cap's off. Now I gotta get this thing out and put the new one in. Hey, I got it. There we go. So far the mating surface looks all right. Now the hard part, get the one into the engine. So let's go do the fun one. Well, I thought I was being careful, but I nicked the dang thing. I covered this in oil, but I guess it wasn't enough. Some people say you can use soap. I guess I'll try that on the next one. I'm not going to put this in just in case it doesn't work. Not going through all this just to have something like that make it fail. So I'm going to go buy a new one. Let's get a new seal. Man, that sucks. Oh well, it happens. All right, guys, new day, new attempt at putting the seal in. So I got another pack of them. So that actually gives me 2 chances to get it into this engine. So I got some dish soap this time. We're gonna see if that helps it slide in. I read that you're allowed to do that, so we're gonna do it. Put a little bit of dish soap on it and see if it slides in a little better. Goal today is to get this oil filter adapter back on, and then it might be hard to see, but the starter down there, so I'm going to get the starter back in. So that's my goal for today. All right, guys, it was a short night for me, but we're making progress, so I can't complain. I got the starter in and the oil filter adapter in. So just a few more things left to do. Tiny, tiny, tiny list. Definitely not long. Definitely probably more than halfway, yeah. Yeah. We'll continue on this another day. I'm calling it a short night tonight. I got the oil filter adapter in and the starter in, so that's something productive done for the day. So I'll call that a win. Got a long list of things left to do, but I'm still smiling. So that's more than I could say for some of these projects. I've come out of them not smiling, so still happy. Feel like I'm making progress, so we'll keep this thing rolling. I'll see you tomorrow where we get all of the oil pan finally buttoned up and then start on the suspension again. Maybe add some oil, make sure it doesn't leak. That would suck. And it's hot tonight. So, gotta love Florida. All right, you guys have a good night.